I'm Matthew Broderick, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your weekly guide to everything on stage. Or as we like to think of it, the place where scrolling through Cheyenne Jackson's wedding pictures is considered work. Best wishes to the happy couple, and let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Ryan?
Nearly 2 decades after its New York debut, This Is Our Youth, Kenneth Lonergan's play about privileged, aimless youth, opened on Broadway this week at the Court Theater. Starring Michael Cera, Kieran Culkin, and Tavi Gevinson, and directed by Anna D. Shapiro, the play earned plenty of great reviews, and its opening night was a star-studded affair. Hollywood faves like Mark Ruffalo, who starred in the original off-Broadway production of Youth in 1996, Winona Ryder, Ben Stiller, Ansel Elgort, and more were among the first-nighters. To see who else stopped by on opening night, check out our full photo gallery on Broadway.com.
Good news for Anglophiles. The critically acclaimed UK stage adaptations of Hilary Mantel's award-winning and best-selling novels Wolf Hall and its sequel Bring Up the Bodies are eyeing Broadway in spring 2015. The productions would play in repertory renamed as Wolf Hall Parts 1 and 2, possibly at the Winter Garden Theatre. No word yet on casting, but Tony winner Mark Rylance and Broadway alum and former Homeland star Damian Lewis will soon be seen in an upcoming television adaptation of Wolf Hall. What? Nothing wrong in dreaming that they'd be up for crossing the pond again for a while.
Thank heaven for Vanessa Hudgens. Yep, the High School Musical star will be sipping champagne in Washington, D.C. this winter. The reimagined new revival of the 1951 Lerner and Loewe musical Gigi will premiere in January 2015 at the Kennedy Center, directed by Eric Schaefer and adapted by Emmy-nominated screenwriter Heidi Thomas. Could a move to Broadway be next? The producers hope so. Bottoms up!
Good news, Mad Men fans. Elisabeth Moss, a standout in the AMC series as Peggy Olson, will indeed return to Broadway in early 2015 in a revival of Wendy Wasserstein's Tony and Pulitzer Prize-winning The Heidi Chronicles. Joining Moss will be American Pie turned Orange is the New Black star Jason Biggs as Heidi's crush-worthy friend Scoop Rosenbaum, and A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder Tony nominee Bryce Pinkham as gay best friend Peter Patrone. The Heidi Chronicles follows an art historian through 20 years of feminism, politics, motherhood, and obviously, cute guys.
3 of Broadway's rock and roll parts are getting new players. Scott J. Campbell is stepping into the role of Carole King's wayward husband Jerry Goffin in Beautiful on September 23rd. Quinn Antwerp returns to Jersey Boys as Bob Gaudio also on the 23rd. And this week, Mitchell Jarvis, who originated the mullet-wearing narrator Lonnie in Rock of Ages, rejoins the 80s jukebox musical as fading rock god Stacey Jacks. Rock on, guys!
Hello, everyone. I am Phillip Boykin, and you're watching the Broadway.com show. Yeah!
Cinderella star Keke Palmer is the new princess in the kingdom. Broadway.com photographer Bruce Glickus snapped this sweet photo of the screen star taking her first ever Broadway bow. And we're willing to bet that those are happy tears, not sad tears. Catch Keke with her new co-stars Sherry Shepherd and Judy Kay at the Broadway Theater.
Oscar, Emmy, Grammy, and Special Tony Award winner Barbra Streisand is literally everywhere this week. While hyping her new duets album Partners, the legendary performer has taken over an entire episode of The Tonight Show, woken up at the crack of dawn to chat with Good Morning America's Robin Roberts, and gabbed with the ladies of The View. Also, SiriusXM launched the Barbra Streisand channel this week, which will run through October 10th. And we haven't even talked about her amazing Instagram skills yet. Babs, you're one of the biggest stars in showbiz, and you're our star of the week.
Earlier this year, when 5-time Tony nominee Kelli O'Hara stopped by Show People, she talked about how she'd been to 1 million auditions for TV gigs where she was ridiculously told she was too fat, too old, or simply not pretty enough to make it on the small screen. TV casting agents be damned, because O'Hara has just landed the role of Mrs. Darling on the live NBC broadcast of Peter Pan, starring Allison Williams, which basically means that millions of TV fans will finally be admiring one of our favorite Broadway blondes, and we say thumbs up to that.
Thumbs down at the news that the off-Broadway mounting of the American Psycho musical adaptation has been axed. We were looking forward to having a bloody good time when it played at Second Stage in February 2015, possibly starring Benjamin Walker as Patrick Bateman. Rumour has it that there may be life after death for the Rupert Gould-helmed show, and that it may now be making its US premiere on the Great White Way. But we are not loving the current gap in our calendars.
Kate Jennings Grant.
Daniel Sunjata.
And you're watching the Broadway.com show.
The tweet of the week comes from movie musical it girl Anna Kendrick, who writes, Why do I buy cooking magazines in airports? I might as well be buying porn. I get all excited, but there's nothing I can do about it. What a bummer, Anna. Too bad there are never recipes for what to do with stale pretzels and canned soda. You can follow this Oscar and Tony nominee at Anna Kendrick 47.
Last week, we asked you which hunky screen superhero you'd like to see fly to Broadway. Guardians of the Galaxy star Chris Pratt or Captain America's Chris Evans. The results are in, and 67% of fans want Evans to make his Broadway debut. Oh, isn't Broadway big enough for both these boys? Okay, it's time for this week's Smackdown. The Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS annual flea market and grand auction is right around the corner, and this year's event is boasting some awesome stuff to bid on, including backstage visits with the River star Hugh Jackman and If Then headliner Idina Menzel. So we've got to know, if you had a stack of cash to spend at the flea market, would you rather rub elbows backstage with Jackman or Menzel? We know this is a tough one. Tweet your votes at Broadway.com with the hashtag #BWaySmackdown and tune in next week to find out the winner.
That's a wrap on this week's episode of the Broadway.com show. We'll leave you with some exciting footage of the new national tour of Pippin, starring the Voice finalist Sasha Allen as the leading player. Don't miss the show when it comes to a city near you. See you next week.